Hi, first graders. It's time for math. Now, you just finished your last math test of this school year. So the test we took on Friday, and maybe you had to finish it on Monday, that was the last test. The next unit that we have is Unit 9, but Unit 9 is all review of things that we've learned throughout the rest of the units. Both in school and here learning online with me teaching you. So the way we're going to handle Unit 9 is I'm going to be doing some filming where I walk you through some activities, but we're not actually going to be learning anything new because Unit 9 is just review, like I said. So today our job is to do 2 pages of math boxes. Math boxes are still really important because they're great review. You might notice in math boxes, there's usually different types of questions, like 6 different types of questions. And that's so important because it helps your mind think in different ways and it reminds you of the things that we've learned all year long. So it's still really important that we do these. So today you only need your math journal and a pencil, and let's get started. All right, the first page we're doing in math boxes is page 181. That's 181. I'm going to read you the math boxes just like normal. If I'm going too fast, just pause the video so you can complete them. You'll be posting 2 pages, this page and another page, on Seesaw at the end. Number 1 says, name 2 things that are the same about these shapes. 2 things that are the same. Number 2 says, show half past 11 o'clock on the clocks. Half past 11 o'clock. So that means on this clock, this is an analog clock, you're going to show half past 11. Do you know what half past 11 looks like on this clock? It would be 11, you fill in the blank. Remember, we put the hour first and then the colon and then the minutes. Number 3 says, write the rule. They give you the numbers. In the function machine, you have to write the rule. Number 4 says, write less than, greater than, or equal to. They're trying to trick you here on this first one. Read the numbers carefully. Number 5 says, subtract. So they're trying to get you to see that if you can do 8 minus 6, you can easily do 80 minus 60. 8 minus 6, that's 8, take away 6. What is that? If we count back, we would get 7, 6. 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. So I would put a 2 right here. This is going to be the same answer, just with a 0 behind it. 80 minus 60 is the same as 8 minus 6. Just see how there's just a 0 behind each of the numbers. So we also just put a 0 behind the 2 in our answer. Now numbers 5 and 6 both show unit boxes. Again, they don't tell us what unit we're working with, so we have to make it up, so you can use whatever thing that you're thinking of that you want to use. And number 6 says solve. So be careful of the second and the third and the fourth one because they have missing numbers in the middle of the number sentence. They don't just have a missing answer. When you're done with page 181, we're going to move on to page 184. Page 184 is right here. Number 1 says, which is bigger, 1/2 or 1/4 of this circle? Ooh, that's a tricky one. Maybe you want to draw lines on the circle to help you figure it out. If you cut it into halves, is 1/2 bigger or smaller than if you cut it into quarters, which would be 4 parts, and you chose one of those pieces? Number 2 says, find the rule. Choose the best answer. So here they give you some answers. You've got bubbles. And you just have to fill in one of the bubbles to tell which one is the correct answer for the rule. Number 3 says, at recess, 7 children played tag, 13 children jumped rope, and 9 children played basketball. Complete the tally chart. Now I see a line right here. That tells me that we're missing the name of the tally chart. What would you call this? Well, we know that it's talking about recess. We know we're talking about 7 kids playing tag, 13 jumping rope, 9 kids playing basketball. What would we call that? For at recess, they're playing things. What could we call this tally chart? You put a name right here. Tally chart's not complete without a name. Then you actually have to put tallies in the boxes to show the number of the kids that are doing those things. Number 4 says, books read in a week. So here's a great example of a title that goes on a graph. Books read in a week. It's not a full sentence. It's just the name of the graph. It's describing what the graph is telling us. Along here, we see number of books, and then we see Jerry, Sam, and Ben, and the books, the bars show how many books they read. And it says, write a question you could answer with this graph. You all did a great job of doing this on the test. There's a lot of different questions you could answer, and on the test, you all came up with very different answers, and that's okay. But think about what question you can tell from this graph based on the information you have. Number 5 says, explain why this is not a triangle. And we've had to do this before, right? It says draw lines to make it a triangle. So that means there's 2 parts to this one. You're going to, in this space, this empty space here, you're going to write in words, why is it not a triangle? What makes it just short of being a triangle? And then you're actually going to draw lines on here that will finish it off and make it a triangle. All right, tomorrow we're going to do something very similar with math boxes. Again, I want you to know that they are still very important because it really helps us to think in different ways and to remember the things that we've worked on. So even though this is like review of stuff that you already know, it's still really important to do. So once you're done with those 2 pages, post them on Seesaw, and I'll see you tomorrow.